They should have died. It was in Israel. He brought his whole family over to Egypt and said, y'all can have whatever y'all want. I'll leave you.
Ironhawk Studio right here. The Ironhawk Studio has the Kevin Allen Show today. Ironhawk Financial, Joseph Lombardi, managing partner. I'd love to say his last name, Lombardi, however you want to say it. 203-815-3673. Give Joe a call today. He'll help you out with all your financial needs. And we're really excited because Joe's going to be partnering up in some way. I don't call them partners just yet, but we're going to be onboarding a new real estate platform as well, coming right to the Kevin Allen Show here. Financial and this oncoming onboarding real estate investment opportunity. If you're out there looking for become a homeowner, it's got a program for everybody. Can't wait to onboard them with Ironhawk Financial Studio right here, the Kevin Allen Show. Today's live show, just catching up. We'll see what we talk about in a moment here, right here. Hello. How is everyone doing? It's Friday. I don't want to scream into that microphone. Let me sit back in my swanky chair, guys. I don't know if you can see this chair right here. This is my leather wingback chair. And I don't know how bad this Wi-Fi is here. So if it's bad, just tell me. I'll turn it off and then I'll go to another location here down at the factory because we have terrible Wi-Fi here, to be honest. So listen. I want to come on here. I haven't been on consistently. We keep talking about that every time I pop on. I'm like, I'm going to come on consistently. Well, we're gonna have some real schedules and real things that are happening, and I'm really kind of jacked up because it's nice to actually come on and talk about positive things. And I know that a lot of the people that supported me over the years, starting off in this podcasting world, you've seen the dark days for Kevin, and I'm going to be open about it and very open about it and talk about myself once in a while. Let me see how this sounds here. I'm going to be open about it and very open about it and talk about myself once in a while. Okay, so I'll keep this on if you guys are messaging or whatever. If you want to ask a question while we're getting into this little rap session, you'll hear Eric Thomas, E.T. in the background here. If you hear Eric Thomas, E.T., he's a big part of my story, my testimony, actually, that I'll be telling. Eric Thomas, the famed number one motivational speaker of the world. You know, motivational speaking is an interesting conversation. And one of the things that I'm going to be talking about over the next, the rest of my life while I'm doing this whole thing of talking on a microphone or creating new content is going to be about how just communicating with different people, things can happen in your life, right? Things can happen in your life. And certainly I think we would look at our lives in these little storyboards, right? And now that I'm getting around a lot of this stuff that we're doing currently, storyboarding, we're trying to create stories in our own lives. And I have a whole journey of stories, almost like crazy stories that I'll be talking about and sharing really soon in regards to how we started, how we got here, and where we are. Kathleen, if you're watching Buddy's gigs, I think around 7, and then I can go to the movies. Big date. Hey, this is the scoop on Kevin right now. The big date night for Kevin is I've been invited to the movies with my 70-year-old friend, my spiritual guidance mama here in Connecticut, Kathy. So that's the big night for Kevin. If I can get Buddy to his, and I can get over to the movie theater in time to get some popcorn with my lady friends, that's going to be the big night for me. Right. So hear me out, man. It's like, that's the transition in life that I've gone through. And the crazy part about that is a lot of you that watch this show, some people that are just meeting us now from some of the things we've been doing across the country, you're wondering, how did I get here? How did you end up showing up in this situation where you're about ready to actually start a national, reality TV show with some amazing partners? I'm a small piece of that project, but I'm a major part of the family that's doing that. And I'm talking about, you see the link right over here, guys. If you can't see this, let me show this to you right here. Okay. Go on over to my guy, Lou Bo, the Put Up or Shut Up Hunting. It's right here. Click on here, guys. Go and check this out today, because this is a show that I've been in creation with now for over 4 years. And Lou Bo is just such a pleasure to watch what he's been doing, creating this new project, and they're moving forward, man. And I say they, meaning us. We're actually moving forward. So Lubo announced today he was down in Atlanta, Georgia, where we were just 2 weeks ago talking to the studio. And good things are coming. There's no announcements today. There's no, hey, we're going to be filming 75 episodes, but we are very, very close to hopefully getting a scheduled production together. Some networks have reached out already initially to talk to that team. I'm just proud to know Lubo and what's going on, and in a small part, just be able to play a little role in that project. But, there's other things that have been going on in my life personally, and that is one of the major ones. That is the one I turned down everything else around me to focus on Put Up or Shut Up. And to the point where, people are going to hear the story. Lil Bo, I'm sorry, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. And this is not to pump me up. It's to tell you how God works. Is I was down in Atlanta, Georgia recently with Lil Bo, and we were down at Mr. Lee Carter's house. And it looks like I'm freezing up here. And if I am, I'm sorry. Maybe I got to turn off all the Wi-Fi in the room, right? Let me turn off all the Wi-Fi in the room. So if it's freezing up too bad, please tell me here. Somebody say that. Comments here. Comments, please. If it's freezing up bad, we'll switch over. So Mr. Lee Carter, he's down in Atlanta, Georgia. And we got a chance to go down there, Bo and I, to go speak to a production studio about a couple projects. Somebody say that. Comments here. Comments. Okay, sounds like it's doing okay. So we got a chance to go down to a production studio and talk to them a couple weeks back. And I make it very public. We talk about it. I'm not afraid, by the way. Listen, nobody out there should be afraid or be shamed about trying to hustle. What you got to do is learn from my mistakes, which I've had many of over the time. What's up, Jose? Thank you for coming on, brother. Do not go out and talk before the chickens, hatch, right? Don't count your chickens before the eggs hatch. Because I've done that time and time again. And once in a while, something good comes out of it. But most of the time, nothing good comes out of talking before the actual thing's happening. And so the bad habits, the devilish habits that I've had, and one of the biggest problems I had was controlling that. And one of the biggest controllers I've had actually was to turn to the best job coach ever, the best job coach ever. I recommend everyone go out and sign up with the job coaching services of the GOD. Get down with the GOD, because God actually can give you the basis of confidence and the and what you need to actually pursue some greatness in life. And there's nothing wrong with trying to do better than your previous generation. There's nothing wrong with you trying to get out in front of things. I had a great conversation with a very important person in my life recently. And we got a chance to talk after many years of not talking, actually, like we did this past weekend. And one of the great parts about that was we got to share, some crying, some laughing, and some hugs, and even maybe another chance to talk again. And these are the things that life is about, folks. You shouldn't be so fixated on all this negative stuff and worry about all this stuff. And in that conversation, one of the interesting parts was that, why, Kevin? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to make something happen? Why can't you just be normal? That's a great question, actually. Why couldn't I be normal and just put it all down and not try to pursue something that could change, people's lives? And see, the whole time I was pursuing things before I understood what God really wanted me for, I was pursuing them for the fruits of the tree, right? The fruits of the tree. What's going on, guys? Hello. Thank you for coming on here. You know what helps when you do that? Do a little love if you could. Throw some love up here on these hit those little buttons there. Get the algorithm going so that people notice us, because that's what's going to bring more people over, and we'll be able to do more of this for the Kevin Allen Show and more. So God comes into my life and all these things. And this is not my testimony, folks. I'm just talking quickly about some of the things that are going on. The Put Up or Shut Up, as I said earlier. If you guys haven't saw anything on my platform before, go and check out the Put Up or Shut Up. You can go check it out right there. There's all the platforms we're on. And this is actually popping very, very big. I think we hit 1 million viewers on the Put Up or Shut Up last month alone. The increase from, low numbers and to high numbers. So please go over to Put Up or Shut Up, All Out Hunting. And this is a reality show in the making. And I was talking earlier about how I'm a part of this project and just feeling really blessed by God to have been given this chance. But, other things come in and play. And so, during the midst of all these great things, sudden bad things come. Changes in your life come. Things you don't anticipate come. Things that you weren't aware of and you get made aware of come. And then you get these opportunities that knock on your door and they really adjust you. Yeah, it is just saying she's okay. I'm getting text messages. And listen, you know what? One thing I've learned too, I'm not ignoring anybody anymore. I mean, I'm taking calls from the people who matter in my life. I'm taking these relationships really seriously, but I'm not going to pay attention to the people that weren't answering my call. Eric Thomas, E.T. I'm not hating on him either. Let me be very clear, man. I'm not hating on anybody, but I'm not calling just everybody back. Okay. So let's put it down where it matters, okay? Because there's something to be said about those who walk away from you in your most trying of days. Your most trying of days. Those challenges that, and I know some people are going to chuckle all the way to I don't know where you chuckle, laugh, mock, pick on, point fingers, make accusations. The self-serving will always be the most insecurity. The self-serving will be the ones that have the most insecurity in their lives, bar none. Believe me when I say that. Those people just bubble it all up like the fat one. Those are the most gluttonous people, and those people they're perceived with successes and good things. But when you get down to the core, it's the values of people that matter. And see, I never understood values of people. I never knew how to value somebody in a relationship exchange. And I credit this one piece of my testimony that I talk about was going to Raul Velasquez, the Next Level Edge. This program right here in Connecticut, Stanford, actually, I went down to it. I met some really great people, my guy Joseph, and somebody, God Squad, shout out. And part of that was teaching entrepreneurs how they were failing. And it was a wake-up call for me in many ways. It was the first time I ever admitted in a room full of men that I had been molested by my babysitter when I was a child. And that was a pretty impactful thing to be able to do and to be able to say it loud and, proud. And by the way, guys, 2 years into my journey of sobriety. That's right, 2 years. I'm not afraid to say it. And, I sit at bars and restaurants and people can drink around me. It's nothing about that bothers me. And I don't push my agenda on anybody about quitting drinking. I'm just telling you, it didn't work for me. It was ruining my life. It ruined my life. In many ways, alcohol ruined my life. And so Put Up or Shut Up comes along. And in this amazing journey that we're on, I'm still doing my podcast. I'm still traveling around the country. I'm still meeting people. And cannabis projects, CBD projects, drinkable projects, all these things running around, and totally had no control of any of them. And they were all really good quality projects that could probably draw investors on any level if I had taken my time to build out good, solid plans. But I hadn't because, Kevin's known for, running into the fire. Well, the fire no more. The fire no more. Because I went through the fire of what life showed me and gave me an example of, you thought it was that bad, Kevin? Here, go another lower. Another step lower. Go another step lower, Kevin. Go another step lower, Kevin. And every step I went lower, I constantly thought I could still win. And sometime around last year, December 16th, actually, is the day I went out into the wood. This factory right here where we're at. And I spent 3 days out in the factory outside, sleeping in the elements. It was like, I think it was like 15 below zero. It was cold. And I slept out in the cold, and I went out there to communicate, and I wanted to meet God. I want to understand, if is God real? And that's the first day that it happened. And then, of course, from there, my journey going to Asbury University. No reason why I drove out to Kentucky to the Asbury University revival, other than my producer Mark said it was happening. I called Miss P up. I said, "Hey, I'm in Baltimore on this trip, 6.5 hours down here, planning to go home." Nope, going out to Kentucky. God's called me. And the rest of the story is pretty obvious. I got a chance to meet God out there and see the unbelievable Asbury University event. It was amazing. It was amazing. And see, some people will listen to this kind of conversation and say, this guy's kooky. And this is the thing that I don't understand in our country right now. Why you can't, in the world, right? It shouldn't be our country. In our world. Why saying God? Why saying that Jesus was the example? Why is saying that such a bad thing? Why is people in certain executive positions, certain political positions, certain media positions, they don't want to hear God. They don't want to hear Jesus Christ. They don't want to hear saved. They don't want to hear that there's a reason to live. They don't want to hear discipline or promise. They don't want to hear prosperity. They don't want to hear that all are welcome and loved. They don't want to hear that. They want to have a divided country in this place, especially America. They want to divide the world. They want to have us in silos of separation. They don't want us to be intermixing. So I start my journey with God, and this is not my testimony. This is just a quick story of how I got to the Put Up or Shut Up project, because it was in concert with me still doing my show, the Kevin Allen Show. The CT Cowboy, whatever, travels to Kentucky, Texas, Florida multiple times, D.C., down there with Marjorie Taylor Greene, interviewing all kinds of crazy national people. I think the first year or 2 years into this project, somehow Paul and I got these incredible guests: Alex Jones, Stormy Daniels, George Floyd's uncle, Selwyn Jones, many, Ted Nugent. You keep on going. There's a lot of, met Tito Ortiz, met Lauren Bobart. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene, personal interviews with her. Listen, great, good. I thought that was it. I was somebody special. I was going to be like on CNN someday, right? Never. No. It's going to be on Fox News. I don't think Fox News is calling me either. I was just talking to one of my friends, and actually I was telling him how at first when I started this project, I thought I was going to be a radio host, like my good friend Lee Elsey. I wanted to be Lee Elsey so bad. I wanted John Fuller over there to give me a job. I called all the radio stations in Connecticut. Lee Elsey got me a trial run at 660, I think, down in Bridgeport. WICC or WCC. I don't even know what it is. I did 2 weeks down there, and the production manager, basically the eyes of a production manager, looked me in the eyes, and I could tell I was never getting called back, because I had people like Norm Pattis calling in. I had people talking about, all these things, and I was talking about any topic he could. I have Selwyn Jones calling in. They didn't even know back then when they didn't want me to come back. I was bringing in one of the most famous names of activism and anti-police in this country, who's a friend of mine that I disagree with, Selwyn Jones, on their radio station. They still didn't want me back. And it gives the credibility of what we're dealing with in the world. And what I mean by that is there is so much insecurity in people today. When it comes to, thanks, Bo, I'm getting permission right now from Little Bo to talk about Put Up or Shut Up. Thank you, Little Bo. Appreciate you. Go on my thing, man. Go and check it out. So my thing, the Facebook or whatever page we're on live. But here's what it comes down to. The insecurity of people being able to talk was exactly what I get off on, man. I enjoy it. It might sound a little creepy and sick, I think. I enjoy having those conversations with people that I don't agree with. I don't have fights with them. I don't have I have healthy discussions. And I was just talking to my friend about how we used to be able to do this. And I would have loved to have been on a radio station making 50, 60, 70 grand a year. Lee Elsey, I love you. And he's the king of it all over here in New England. I reached out to his people. They didn't want me. And really, it wasn't about they didn't want me, because I'm much more talented than they probably could afford right now. And I don't say that in any cocky way, and not even being cocky about it. They couldn't afford me right now over at John Floyd. Well, you could afford me. Let me rephrase that. As one of my gurus says, E.T. Eric Thomas, the motivational speaker, I'm not going to turn down a job. So who knows if they want to call. But some of the things that are happening right now, I had to get denied and fail and fail and fail and fail and denied and have a door slammed in my face before I realized it wasn't really the people that I was dealing with or the places I was trying to go, that really was me. It wasn't that I wasn't qualified or I didn't have a good story to tell, or I couldn't talk on a microphone, because I can better than most. Most of the professionals that are out there right now, quite honestly, probably couldn't hang with me if I was given the right budget. And that sounds very cocky. And God, thank you for reminding me to be humble. Humble and kind, just like Taylor has on my arm, okay? But here's the deal. I'm confident and humble and kind, and there's a difference between that cockiness of the past. I understand where I am. See, the journey that I've had since I found God has been so solid in confidence, with the exception of a few areas. And a few of those areas right now have been taken care of, or are being taken care of personally, cleaning up some of those past issues Some of those relationships that were solid aren't so solid anymore. Moving on from business and personal relationships, moving out of Connecticut to another state, looking for opportunities outside of Connecticut. You know, it's interesting to me because some of the people that are going to watch this are going to maybe make a comment on this, but I get a lot of reminding me how I am from local. You're from Connecticut, Kevin. And I know that. And in particularly, one of the first people that reminded me of this, and I still have a conversation to have with him, is some amazing people that I love dearly. And, you know, unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull off something for an obligation with this community group. And my brother right here, and I know he's mad at me, Joe there. I love Joe, and I love his wife. And I publicly will say that I failed them by organizing an event that was going to top what we did with Marjorie Taylor Greene because I was way too focused on my journey. True story. 1,000%. I focused all on me. And Joe supported me. Him and Jen have always supported me, and they'll always get support from whatever platform I'm on. So go out and check out Joey Guns LLC. They're over there in Plainfield, Connecticut at 1221 Norwich Road, 860-317-1167. I'm going to be able to give back Joe and Jen some love soon. I know, and I love them. And I'm just being open about it because I have moved from a little bit more local to a little more of a national conversation. And if some of you have seen recently, we've been doing some interviews with on the road where we're talking with this chair really feels comfortable, and this is the chair I should have had the whole time. I can kick back in this chair. This is my, and I'll tell you one day what the chair name is when my kids give me permission to, but anyone that's been in my life knows what this chair's name is, and it's a ridiculous name. It's been renamed. This journey's been crazy, and it's been one that I have had the honor of meeting and working with and talking to some of the most amazing people. I've met people that are in all aspects of life and have a unique quality of their own. Some of them are in politics, some of them are activism, some of them are in business, some of them are just average everyday people. I've gotten to meet the young kids on the Put Up or Shut Up. When you checking out this up and coming reality show right there, you're going to see all these videos, right? And one of the things I think I was just talking to my daughter and her girlfriend, Lexi, my daughter, Lexi too, about Put Up or Shut Up. We were just talking the other day, and just like all the different things that are going on. Hold on, I got to talk to Buddy quick. Hey, Buddy, I'm live on my show right now, so they're going to hear you. What's going on?
Oh, hey, Kevin, I just wanted to say I love you and I appreciate you. It's going to be hard to play the show tonight. I lost my buddy. So
Brian passed away.
Brian passed away, yep.
All right, buddy. Listen, come on down to the factory here. I'll see you down here. Come down here, okay? Bye.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. That's Buddy. That's live right there, and he's tortured right now because one of his best friends just passed away, and he's going to be playing out at the local place tonight. So Buddy is a prodigy guitarist. We've been playing some videos up on our social media platforms and letting you know a crazy story in itself how we connected with Buddy. But he's a prodigy. He's a very, very special guy, and he's hurting right now. So just pray for Buddy and his family, the family of Brian, his friend. But there's an example right there. You know, I know he was hurting right there. So I answered the phone. I didn't need to turn my show off. It's a real show. It's real people. See, real people can't handle those real conversations. And until I had God in my heart, I couldn't handle it either. It's very difficult to hear those kind of conversations, right? Nobody's easy, right? But when you have confidence in what God offers you, you can be confident in the fact that we're going to pray for Brian who passed. I know he did get last call from one of the local pastors, Buddy said, so we're confident he's on his way. And we all have that promise. And so some people get scared about that conversation. In this journey I've been on, a lot of the folks that I've been dealing with were all Christians from all the way back to when I was down at the southern border with PFA. Way back in the beginning, I did my first border tour down at the southern border with Patriots for America, PFA, Sam Hall. And there was so much praying going, and Juan from Right America Media, of course, went down. He filmed it for us. And I was surrounded by Christians, and I was faking the funk, doing let's all get in the prayer circle. And guys, when I was in politics, I did the same thing. I faked the funk about religion then too. This is the reality. I'm just telling the truth. You see, one thing God does not do is quit. And that's what inspires people like me not to quit. That's why people like me who've been knocked down because of a lot of my own doing, knocked down, just constantly knocked down. You know what, though? When you get up and you smell the promise of hope and it's real and you're commiserating and connecting to people from different cultures, you're getting people in different levels of production, studio production across the country, asking you to come down and, well, I don't know if you're reading for them or just talking to them. My kind of interviews are just interviewing people. That's what I tell people when they ask me to come and read for them or, do a few things for them to see if they want to put us on. And we do have some things coming out that are going to be great to announce. And one of the things is the Sinners Tour, which was scheduled for our launch tomorrow down in Georgia. Many of our members from the Sinners Tour will be down there in Georgia at Hughes's event, Faith Over Fear. And, you're just so tickled pink that we have a small part of that. I was going to be down there speaking, and I was not able to attend. Although I do think that there'll be a way for me to be heard on that stage by all the great performers and the God's message down there. But we're talking about events like out in Arizona. We're booked already with the tour and many other events that are coming up soon. But I really have a great team to do that. I don't need to do it anymore. I had the vision, and the vision came after that trip down to Baltimore I was just talking about. Went down to Baltimore, then I went to Asbury. Then I came home from Asbury 16 hours after that event because I was, of course, 6.5, and then out to West Virginia, then all the way back to Connecticut in that broken down truck that's probably going to die tonight. My Toyota is at 278,000 miles, 700 and something miles, and it is ready to die tonight. It is ready to die tonight. The truck is going to die. And that's okay with me because I drove that truck everywhere I could to get where I was going. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know why I was going. I do now. And I don't see if there's any messages up here. People are popping up. Thank you. Please do me a favor. Hit the share button. What do you guys think of this new looking studio kind of thing? It's kind of cool, right? I like it. Got a great camera here now. Got a little bit of a different look. I think the sound was good. If anyone's having a problem, give me a holler. Let me know if there's an issue with the sound or audio, or it could be fading in and out. But at the end of the day, I'm just totally stoked about one thing. My life. For the first time, I've been able to look in a mirror and say, I love you, Kevin. I forgive you, Kevin. It is not your fault. It's your fault if you don't fix it. And I had all this power given to me from the day I was born, but didn't know how to use it. And when you have an energy that comes with this, it comes with a responsibility. Hear me out when I say this right now. You get something like I've been given, you have a responsibility to share it with everybody you can possibly share it with. And who you want to share it with typically is those people in your life. And I think we know who I'm talking about. But one thing I'm going to tell you, I made a deal when I made the deal with God that gave me these opportunities to actually see these things happening in my life right now. Because this really did happen. I went to Paula and told her 7-8 months ago, I'm not doing anything but focus on this. I don't care who it is, my kids, nobody's getting in my. This is how sick I become with trying to achieve something. And it's a true story. I was in God. I was feeling God, but I was so focused on trying to succeed that I wasn't looking at the things around me. And that wake-up call of this adventure, God only knows why he chose me. God only knows why he chose me. And I'm not angry. I got a lot of sadness. I got a little disappointment in some of the things I had to do and go through. It didn't feel good, man. It hurt. But God will help you through it. And not only will God, the people around you will. The real people in my life didn't let me be forgotten. They didn't sit there and point fingers and do all these. They actually, the important ones were there. And I remember that. And that is part of why it's such an amazing energy. When you go to the rock bottom like I did, guys, I went from the state house basically to nothing. You're going to hear about it. And, I'm kind of proud to say this right now. And it's still not a signed deal, but we have talked to an author. I have a representative manager right now who's the three of us, myself and the two ladies will be getting on a call next week as a follow-up call that I initially had. And I'm not going to name names of who's writing or whatever, but this is an experienced author, I think probably 27 or 28 books. And told a little bit of my testimony yesterday and what we're going to be telling as a story. And during this opportunity to do this, when we were encouraged to do a book, it was like, why? Well, who's going to want to read? In fact, I was told recently, I was telling somebody, a good friend, the same guy I was talking about earlier, something about a book. And he's like, well, who's going to want to read your story? Who's going to want to read your story? And I find that to be an interesting question because I love everybody's story. I listen to everybody. I was just down in Columbia, South Carolina. My guy Scott. Scoot's up here, by the way. He's a cop. I was down with Scott, my other brother, who's a former felon who just got out of federal prison. And I just did an interview. You can look at our library. We did an interview with Scott as well, not just down in Columbia, South Carolina, with Maine and Bang Bang, all guys who'd had experience with the prison system. Here I am, a CEO on the road, running down there with my Put Up or Shut Up project. I'm interviewing these guys on the road. I've had a lot of these interactions with guys who had formerly been running the streets. I mean, my business partners in this project, just so you know, these guys were all street guys, man. I coined the phrase, by the way, and I don't care. You know what? I know what they're going to tell you. From the hood to the wood. Because what we did right here with my guy down here, little Bo, and all the team, all these guys, he's got an A+ team out there. Everybody on that team is guys who had experienced some bad, troubled decisions in the past. And you know what? They found their way back to enjoying a sportsman lifestyle, teaching the younger generation. When you see the footage here, guys, in this Put Up or Shut Up project, your mind's going to blow. Your mind's going to blow. And I'm going to tell you why, because you're seeing things that you don't see on normal TV, right? Normal TV doesn't show you minority, young men, communities out with camouflage on, because that doesn't sell at Cabela's, right? That doesn't sell at Cabela's. And I got a funny story, but we're not going to tell the story just yet because we're talking some marketing dollars with some of the bigger brand names for this project. And, you know, I'm not saying Cabela's, by the way. You want us to come in there? Let me tell you something. We want to be a part of it. Believe me. I say that because you're one of the biggest names, Cabela's. And I know being sensitive to this story is we want to have our products inside Cabela's. That's how big this is, because we want to make the diversity of this world real once and for all. There's a hunting community across this country of minority hunting, sportsmen, fishermen, all that stuff. We got our own guy up here, Pat, his whole community, the fish fry nation, you know what I mean? Never quit. Going out fishing and hunting with his father. We're just talking to him because they go coon hunting as well. This is a beautiful thing coming to a network soon. And I am truly honored. And so these interviews I get to do in concert with Put Up or Shut Up are bringing me interesting opportunities. My business partners, little Bo, Kevin. I'm the only Kevin on a call typically. You know what I mean? You know what I mean if you know what I mean. I'm the only Kevin on the call. There's a lot of Kevs. But Kev, little Bo, back in the day was part of working with Lil Rue and his partner Nine. And they had some one song in particular was the Nasty song. I think it just came out with some girl singer, a female singer came out with it. But little Rue went on to do his thing. But Lil Bo was in the Atlanta kind of area out of Columbia, South Carolina, getting into the music industry. And those relationships then have now paid off as well for us. With some pretty big names that have looked at us. The production studio that's picking this project up, folks, is the real deal. It's the real deal. And it's pretty amazing today to be able to sit here humbly and be able to share. And I can only share this because of God's grace. You know, praise Jesus, because without this change in my life, I wouldn't be in this seat right now, getting ready to fly out of here, go down to Florida, be with my parents for a little bit, and then start doing a schedule of filming starting, I believe our first filming is scheduled for Columbia, South Carolina, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We'll be out filming the first episode right there. All right. And that's already been talked about. The production deal is still got to be signed. So no ink wet yet, but we're filming. We know we're already ready. This team's queued up and we got some great sponsors we're talking to. So this is great, right? And how does this happen in somebody's life? How do you go from, coming from nothing as a child, living in a trailer and nothing, no disrespect to my parents, did the best they could, but we were blue collar nothing. running water only when, we'd have freezes all the time because we're in a trailer, and we'd always have the heat off, always have some power off once in a while. And of course, the experiences in my life that shaped me, visiting a prison where one of my family members stayed. When I retired from the same prison. And, having that experience growing up, and then, talking about my, molestation later on in life and some of the blue collar things, having dyslexia, complete can't spell, but I was able to get to the state house and actually be encouraged to run for Congress. And I've had some pretty amazing journeys that I share quite often, but there's amazing things too I haven't talked about. And in my testimony, you'll hear, because they're real. They're about great success. They're about serious depression. They're about amazing experiences. They're about some of the most hard choices you must make. It's about some of the most beautiful times you've spent in your life. They're about those things that I've achieved, those things that I've lost. I was good enough to talk on local radio then. I just wasn't good enough as a person to convince somebody that I was a nice guy. And now that I have God on my side, it is so easy to be a nice guy. It's a nice guy every day. And I'm not going to fake the funk here. I mean, I went up to, through some really tough personal things recently, and it really took me for a loop, and that's all part of my journey too. And I will be talking about that mental health side of things. And I will also be talking about the great things of achievement when you can seek that help that you might need. Don't hesitate to call, reach out. Don't hold it in. This is why we have problems in our country. People don't want to talk, especially men. They don't want to talk. We don't want to talk. I don't want to admit that I'm weak. I don't want to admit that I'm scared. I don't want to admit that I'm this. And how do we deal with it? Typically, we go to a bottle. Typically, we go drinking. Typically, we go drinking alcohol. And then typically, we go after alcohol. We go and make bad decisions in our life. And I'm going to talk about what narcissism is for a man, because I was a narcissist. A narcissist. Yes. Okay. Liar, narcissist, cheater, you name it, I did it. I'm not proud of any of it. I'm sickened by it. It disgusts me that I became that kind of human. But you know what? God is great. Praise Jesus that I have an opportunity to actually not just live, but also live with those people that I have hurt and actually make it a better place, make it a better improved place, and try to help people more than I tried to hurt them. And this is why God is gracing me with these opportunities. Soon we'll be coming out in November. We're going to be filming a multi-part series we're talking about Capadon from Wu-Tang. I said Wahlburgers. I don't think Capadon's from Wahlburgers. Capadon from Wu-Tang. We're going to be filming. This is what I've been told. We have a amazing opportunity to sit down with somebody out of the cannabis world who is a pharmacist, basically doctor, prescribing and giving and treating patients with PTSD. And the topic of that conversation with that multi-part series, we're going to do that podcast with Capadon sometime in November in New York, is going to be about PTSD for offenders, discharge offenders, as well as COs. And we'll probably bring some cops in and some stuff like that, because there's a whole intertwined system of us and them kind of thing. And I think that's why I now in my life as a former retired correction officer have an amazing relationship with a lot of people who serve time. I mean, my business partners in this project have served, some of them served time. Some of them none of them are going back. We're all too much into God and the positive, but the lessons learned we can share across this country. That's why I was giving a shout out to Scott earlier. Scott, my dude, he was on with me from Columbia, South Carolina. It's going to be amazing to share all these podcasts that we're going to be working on. And we're doing a lot more show interviews. So we're going to be booked on a lot more shows going on and talking about what's upcoming, not just here for the Kevin Allen Show, but my other parts, the collaboration things. Jason Vukovich, the Alaskan Avenger, he's going to be getting into his parole situation, or at least a work release. We're going to try to get up to Alaska and see him. He's been a part of my journey as well. Just all these people have been such a part of it. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you. And if you like what you're seeing or hearing, could you just do this, please? Could you do this right here? Please just hit that little button. Give some love if you could, please. Please give some love. Hit the love button or the like button there and share it on your platforms if you could, because we're dropping some really just straight up talk now, and we're not trying to hold back. I hope everyone understands this is not a place to hold back, because I'm going to help somebody today. I'm going to help somebody today realize right now that you might be so dark and so depressed and so lost that you don't have an answer. You can reach out. You can DM me if you want right now. You can DM me right now. You can private message me if you, whatever way you want to say it, throw me a message. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be going maybe to the movies with some really fun people later on. But if you're having a problem right now, you're feeling down, you're feeling lonely, reach out. If you're feeling depressed, you're not alone. If you're feeling sad, believe me, you can find smiles. It's going to take hard work. Sometimes dealing with the battles in front of you right now are the most beautiful victories of tomorrow. You just have to challenge yourself to step into the seat, folks. And I'm proud, man. I don't know if you can tell right now, I'm peacocking a tad. And by the way, you're going to notice one thing. I don't swear. I don't look at porn. I don't swear. I don't drink alcohol. I'm focused on fixing those things. There's people that I need to go give some money back to. There's some things I got to fix in my life, but all these things are happening because God chose me, and God chose me for a reason. See, I didn't know what that reason was before, but I do know it now. And, this is going to offend some people, and it stinks that it does. Even people in my life, they're going to be mad that you could talk so freely. How can you talk like that? You sound crazy. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's not crazy, nor is it really not. It's not wrong. And by the way, I'm not telling you to believe everything I'm saying, but believe one thing. I am so good. So good. There's a couple things that are holding me back right now, but soon as I fly out of this state of Connecticut, down to Florida, get my parents, get focused on that, close a few of these deals, close these relationships, I'm going to be in front of it all. And I am sharing with you at the 98% mark of my life, getting ready to happen. I'm 53 years old. I am the rookie. The movie, Dennis Quaid, I'm the rookie of this podcast, national media stuff. And we're about ready to get noticed because of several things, including the Put Up or Shut Up project that today down in Atlanta, Georgia, we were able to negotiate and really get a verbal agreement on a production schedule coming out really soon. So, hey, listen, we do know as the haters are coming. You've all been named and identified. You all been named. We got a board of you haters out there. So come on, hating. And what's going to happen is you're going to be identified in your own rights because the powers that be that we're playing with, they got big pockets. They got big pockets. So the haters are going to come. We know they're coming. And I'm going to pray for you right now, the haters. I'm going to pray that all the haters, dear Lord, I just empower those haters to get rid of the hate in their heart. Let it go. Let it go and focus on those things that they need in their lives, Lord. Just keep them focused on positive and maybe not on everyone else's, positive. Because sometimes when we focus on other people's positives, right, Lord, you know this, it actually makes us feel more negative about ourselves. See, I lived like that for a long time. God, I'm going to go out of this prayer here. Thank you in Jesus' name. But I'm going to bless you, the haters out there. So all the haters of the world, I'm putting that blessing out over you right now. We want you to be blessed with a peacefulness and a quality of life that doesn't have you hating on everybody. But here's what you really need to hear. Never give up. Never let them tell you that you got to quit. Never let them tell you that you got to walk away. And never let them tell you that you can't have a dream, even if you're 53 years old. There's so much more to this story, and we'll be talking about it soon right here on The Kevin Allen Show.